And there we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. We are live. Let me just set up, do my setting up, do my Facebook, shut everything up, and then we can start. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody from India. Good morning, wherever you're watching this. Um, and I think it's really night where Annie is right now. So we have all the time zones right now. I think it's 10 o'clock for you, Annie, right now, 10:30.
It's 10:30 at the moment for us.
Yeah. So, we're covering all time zones. Just a heads up, it's raining in case, in the comments. Francis, hi, thank you for being there. Francis, if it starts echoing or anything happens because it's raining, just give us a heads up in the comment. We have yet another beautiful, beautiful mom. 59th mom, reaching 60th mom soon. And then the 100th mom, just 40 moms. So we are more than 10 moms, more than halfway through. So definitely it's a celebration. I'm excited what's coming up after these interviews are done. I welcome, and it's a pleasure having you here. I had a beautiful, beautiful conversation when we connected. I want to welcome you here. Please introduce yourself, because the mom who lives the story tells the story the best. I would love you to introduce yourself to the mothers here.
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. This is Annie Simon. I live in Sydney with my husband and my 10-year-old daughter. I was raised and born in Pakistan, Karachi. I stayed there and we moved to Sydney back in 2014, and this has been our new home ever since.
Right. So that's a very, very formal form kind of an introduction, Annie. We need introduction of Annie, who Annie is, what's her journey, what's brought her here, how are we connected, what's happening. So let's go ahead, because this interview is also becoming a place to have great conversations, discovering our mothers, who they are, introducing them in different light as moms. So let's talk about your journey till here.
Of course, of course. So my journey started. Where should I start from? I think I should start when my journey started, as I decided or embarked on a journey to become a chartered accountant back home in Pakistan, Karachi. Um, I decided to choose this profession because it was very lucrative. It was something that many people, my loving family, my friends, some teachers said, go ahead. It's a lucrative profession. You're gonna go do good. You're studious. You're intelligent. So I went ahead. I studied chartered accountancy in Pakistan, and then back in 2010, um, I fell pregnant and I was about to have a baby girl, my daughter. That's the time that we decided, me and my husband as a family, that we should be looking at new avenues because we wanted a change. We wanted to bring our daughter in a country where she would have world class education and the world would be her oasis. So we put in our papers and we immigrated to Australia. Long story short, I came here, worked in finance for a good 7 years, till one time I was really burnt out and I had a very, very severe headache. It's called cluster headache. For those of you who don't know, it's a classic headache that happens at the same time every day for a number of weeks in one stretch. So it was very painful. And that's the time that I decided to sort of slow it down and look internally and think about the bigger things, like, okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why is this happening? And why did I come to Australia? And so some questions that I had been avoiding asking myself for a very, very long time. And finally, I did ask them, and the answers came. And now I am actually a transformational coach and a mentor who help women, just like when I was once in a corporate world, overwhelmed, burnt out, to a place where they're doing work that they want to do. They're feeling fulfilled. They're feeling the happiness, and above all, they have the time to spend with their families or their loved ones or their kids, and they don't have to just get up and go to a job just because they have to go.
Right. And how old is your daughter now?
My daughter is 10 years old right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I did meet her. I forgot to ask you her age. I think I did meet her briefly in the thing when she was saying good night to you when we were speaking. So, so this journey from a country to a totally different country because you're becoming a mom. Uh, your daughter's inspired to you to come all the way to Australia, and you did mention that it was not easy. What was the struggle that you went through when you were in Australia? How did it move forward, and what is the struggle of a mom that you feel?
I think, Shikha, whenever you move countries, first of all, it's not an easy move. It is somewhere where you've got your core in one country, especially if you're born and you have your entire family structure and you've studied there and you know everything and you know what is happening, how the weather is. Especially Pakistan, Karachi is a very tropical country. We hardly have hardly any rain at all. So we used to the hot climate, and then suddenly when you decide to make a move, especially into a new culture, into a new surrounding, and a place that is so far away from Karachi. I wasn't moving to Dubai; I was moving to Australia. So, and we had no family here. We absolutely knew no one. But they say, God works in miraculous ways. There was a friend back home in Pakistan when she got to know that I am moving with my family, and we have a 2-year-old child that we're moving with, and we don't have any job prospects here. We don't have sort of any system, any support system. So she said, hey, I know somebody, and let me give you their number. They might help you. So I just had a brief conversation before I moved, and then those people, they hadn't met me, but they came. They were there to help out with with helping us find a house, to helping us make my CV, and telling us the ways, and taking printouts of the maps. So that made me realize that no matter where you are in the world, if you ask for help, good people are around and they do come and help out.
Like,
So the struggle was another struggle I feel that was also there for us was when we moved from Pakistan, and coming to Australia. It was very difficult finding the very first job, and it was a good 3 to 4 months before I got my first job. And we had decided between me and my husband that we'd both apply and let's see who gets it first, because we had a 2-year-old daughter and we didn't want to sort of leave her in daycare from morning to evening without any family support. She had come from a close knit place where she had the grandmother and my sister, and she was brought up in a place like that. So it was a big change for her also. So we came here, and every day I would apply, Shikha. It took me at least 100 to 150 CVs that I would put in every single day. And every time I would get, oh, sorry, you're not chosen. And then I would call them up and ask them why. And they would say, oh, because you don't have any local experience. Yes, but I don't have local experience because I was not here. I've been working in Pakistan. But we do not recognize, unfortunately, international experience. So this kept on happening. I would lose hope sometime. But then at the end of the day, I knew, we've made such a big move. We've left our homes to come here. So we just can't give up in the next 2 months or even a year and go back. So
yeah,
struggle. And finally, I got a job. And then my husband got a job. And then things became a little easier for us from there on.
right. And what, like, you've been watching this. I know you've been watching a lot of these episodes here with mothers and everything. And what's happened in the last few episodes, I think I've got lost with this whole thing, how I started. So I've not spoken about that to mothers last 3 4 interviews. That this is all about this camera thing. They're all. Have you ever felt that when the camera comes up? Have you ever felt that people you've met, women you feel for, this camera scares them? Do you feel that this movement started with this whole thing that when the camera is on, the chatter comes on, and the chatter is all about how we are looking. Is it okay? Is it what will people say? And the minute the camera is on, we can start imagining this person will say this person will say this. Have you experienced that? Because lately I think I'm just so getting carried away with the stories and mothers that I have to also bring myself back to where it started. And because new audience is there, new people are there, they don't, it's like some people are calling me and saying, you just interview mothers, right? I said, no. There's a book coming up, and there is self-portrait movement, and there is all this thing. It started for me being a photographer. So do you so I want to bring that back because audiences are changing and we need to get that back. So we need to so I want to ask you, have you felt that? Have you felt that before being a mom or after being a mom, the relationship with the camera, the relationship with the picture, has that changed? Or do you still feel like what's your thoughts about that?
Definitely, there's so many people who are camera shy, and I just got to know that recently because what happened was it was with me my when I was transitioning from my chartered accountancy to the world of coaching. In a finance we say that where like how I used to work, it was behind the computer. So you're in the background. So you're working, you're on your computer, nobody's watching you, nobody's judging you on what you're doing, what you're wearing, how you're saying something. And then my coach told me, "Oh, you know what? You have to do a live." And I was like, "Are you serious? I've never done that in my life." But then I almost quit it. But then I did it. And the time I finished that live, Shikha, I was almost like, I was having those. Uh, I'm standing and I'm having like the world go around me. And I was like, "Oh my God, I just went live for the first time in my life." So yes, that scaredness is there, that oh my God, what is my mother going to think, what is my husband going to think, what is my class teacher going to think, and what is that person going to think, and this person going to think, did I say the right thing, what if I say something wrong? So all of these things are so real, but once you get on the camera, and once you go and you once start talking, I think it becomes a rapport and you're fine with it. So after doing all of these things now, it's not as scary as it was, but I can still remember my heartbeat the first time I put myself in front of the camera.
I think that live thing happens to everyone because live thing is also video. But I've also realized that uh, photographs, like pictures, are also something that is even scarier than going live, because live is different. When that one moment is frozen, and in live you can make faces, you can be shaking, you can be doing anything, somehow it just gets all merged, thanks to sometimes a bad camera, thanks to sometimes a bad light. We just like figure it out, and we just quickly say it and we leave. But when you create a picture, when you and that's what we're doing in this movement, and one of the moms said it's like declarations, right? When we do that, and then that one picture, and I'm in a certain pose, and then what I don't want to show the world is static, you know, like
Hmm.
this part. Okay, this part doesn't look nice, and it's caught somebody's caught me that there, and then the chatter becomes even like like my God,
That's
um, like this angle is not nice, let's delete it. Oh my God, how did it go in social media? People will start saying, what Shika, your dark circles, what happened to your hair, what happened to your teeth, what happened to your smile, what happened to your whatever. And we just want to take that picture off, and we just want to run
yeah,
away from there, because we've been captured on something that we're the most critical about, ourselves. And that's why, of course, this movement had started initially from that, because maximum it happens to mothers, because our
yeah.
bodies change, we have sleepless nights, our hair change, there are hormonal changes, and so much happening. So does that like, is that ever happened to you that you felt that, not this angle, and I don't think so. This kind of,
Absolutely. The amount of pictures that I have to take. Absolutely. I think it will happen with all of us,
yeah, it happens with all of
especially after we become mothers, because we've got that plateau to sort of come back to again and again. And yes, absolutely.
us.
Absolutely.
So the only reason I'm talking to you about it, because many people are joining in and seeing, and this interviews are being shared. So I also want to align people back to the fact that how this whole thing started,
Mm,
how a static moment captured, makes us realize that it is not the camera that's like scaring us. It's what we think about ourselves is scaring us, and that becomes so important, that we are okay to be missing from our dreams, because we have to go live, we have to put our pictures, we have to shoot, we have to pose, and we keep doing things that like resist us towards trying to make this happen. And hence a beautiful movement has come out of it, because there's layers and layers and layers of story before somebody says, "Nah, I don't look nice," because there's so much happens, and the mother has had that whole journey. and she reaches that point and says, I don't think so, this is for me. I don't think so for me.
Beautiful. I feel if as mothers, or even as women, if we just let go of that fear of judgment or what the world is going to say or do, its life is going to become so much more relaxed and easier. This fear of, oh my God, what's going to happen? What are they going to think about? Is something that make many and many of us just be in our shells, and we don't know when life just passes us by.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why beautifully these moms are showing up with their stories and permanently declaring that this is who I am in a picture. It's a very, very hard work. People think it's like, oh, they're just pictures of books, but it's taking a lot from mothers to drop the criticism, to come out and say, yes, Shikha, take my picture and produce it and show it to the world. It is taking a lot from those mothers. And I see pictures and I see pictures coming in and I can see the courage they have to, come out of it and say, let's stop the chatter. It's just a picture. We can emerge beautifully even in this one frame which is static. So that's what I keep telling people. Video is scary, but it's moving. So we figured it out how to, get camouflage with whatever thing is. The mirror is very interesting to gauge, but we still have the thing of moving away from the mirror if it's getting very scary to do the mirror work. When a picture is made and then it's made public in a book, my
Yeah.
God, that's scary. That's scary, but that's also liberating because the minute it will come in the book, the minute you release it, it becomes in a public domain. They open and they say, Annie, oh, so this is Annie, right? That's her story. We liberate in a very beautiful way, forever printed and on people's bookshelves. So the reason I'm having this conversation is to keep aligning people that this one frame is what is your frame that you're going to tell the world about yourself. And many people are going to see that one frame, but it is genuinely taken a lot of courage for people to create that one frame. And, they come to me and I'm saying, you can be better than that. No, you're better than that. The frame can be better than that. So I keep pushing them back and they keep coming to me. So just a reminder to this interview that that's what's happening. That's what these interviews are, because my friends are calling me. They're like, "You become this interviewer from a photographer. What's happened?" I'm just still introducing mothers. Book is the main thing. That frame is the main thing. That story is the main thing. That book that is going to inspire many, many people and build the community of these 100 moms. And that's what I wanted to tell you. That's why I asked you this question. So let's
Yeah.
move on to more about Annie and how Annie is transforming people and what does she feel and where are women that, like what kind of women that you really, really feel for? What is it that you want to transform for them through your coaching? Uh, and how is that journey going?
A very valid question, in fact, Shika. I think what I want to give to women or what I want to change for women. Before I even go there, I have to start with how did I even, come to a place or a realization that the work that I'm doing actually needs to be done. Uh, I've actually been thinking about it, especially when we were going to have this interview. I was thinking, what made me come here, or what was that one thing that I've developed this courageousness in myself to say, you know what, let's do this, or we have the power to do it. And that one thing, Shikha, was for me education. I say this not from a place of proudness or haughtiness, but from a place of humbleness and a place of dignity, in the sense where if we allow our girls to be educated, especially in the Asian countries, they they do miracles. And like myself, education changed the trajectory, I would say, of just not my life, but the life of my daughter, and for that, from generation to generation onwards. um, Maybe if I would not have got that kind of education and would not have been surrounded by such powerful women. I was in a convent. I used to work in St. Joseph's Convent. It was a convent school in Karachi, and it was run by nuns. And the nuns were running it. We had all female teachers, the principal, to all up, the PT teachers, the history teachers, everyone. And women have a power of storytelling. So when they would tell us about history or about what happened when Alexander came all the way to Kashmir to conquer, and then the partition happened and everything, and then the geography, and we're going out to collect the stones. So I started idolizing these women in a sense where, like, wow, wow, women have power. And then slowly that sort of education gave me a chance to go and delve into a field which is highly male dominated. So when I was choosing chartered accountancy, and I had actually gone to that chartered accountancy school, I still remember the receptionist there who was a male. He said, "Oh, by the way, do you know that it would take you somewhere around 5 years to 10 years to do your degree?" And I was filling the form and I just stopped and I looked at him. I said, "Sorry." And he said, "Oh, by the way, just to tell you, it might take you 5 years to 10 years to do this. Why? Because this is not an easy subject to do. This is accountancy. So there are many people who end up taking 10 years to do it by the time the accounting body disqualifies them, or they change mid-time their career to something that they're more able to do." And at that time, something I said, no, I'm going to do it. I will see. And then I studied day and I studied night. And, they say eat, sleep, drink. I would be doing accounts, accounts, accounts. And then I ended up doing my studies and actually ended up becoming one of the youngest ACCAs graduate from Pakistan. And that was an honor. And that gave me like that confidence to see, what, if you set your mind to something and if you pray and you give your best with the good intentions, things happen. I then after that, obviously in my class, I still remember in my tax class, there were 110 kids and there were only two girls. I was there and there was one other girl, and the rest were all boys. The teacher was a male also. So going in that place and looking at those people, and then sometimes if you even have to ask a question, I remember the first time I had to ask a question, I was wondering, oh, will they think that I'm dumb? Should I even go ahead and ask the question? So I had these fears, but every time I said, no, Annie, you're here to clear this exam and you're here to clear it in your first attempt. So raise your hand, ask. And I kept asking and asking till the teacher knew that if Annie is not going to understand, she won't let the class proceed. So he would look at me to say, all right, you good? Or, yes, I'm good. Let's go ahead. So, that made me realize that you have to speak up. Right. You have a voice. You just can't numb it all the time. And then when I went into working back home in Pakistan, also in finance, there were a lot of, again, I said it's a male dominated profession. So going there, making your place there, and speaking up in meetings. And especially when people don't want to hear you, you speak in a way that they really hear. And you don't have to feel offended by it, because that's how everybody is, right? You go and you make your space. And that's why I have this tremendous respect for all the women, especially in Asia, who are going out in the working field and working side by side with men. Because it's not like this how it's in Australia. Over here, men, women, everybody works. They don't have that sort of inequality, as I would say. But over there, you really have to go prove yourself. You have to work your best, and you have to be the best among the best. You have to challenge sometimes, right. And you need to have. So all of these things I was learning and learning by doing. I didn't realize what it was building me up to. Then Australia, I come here, and then this Jasmine gets born. I don't get to spend a lot of time with her, and then I'm questioning why. Why did I choose accountancy? Why did I come to Australia? Oh, because I wanted to give my daughter a better life. I wanted, her to have the best education. I wanted her to see the world from a place where she knows that she can have anything that she wants. Yeah. And I said, if I don't have time for her, if I don't have time for myself, and if she's growing at a pace of, they say that a girl grows like a cucumber, she grows so quickly, you don't even realize. And with children, it's like 10 years now. I don't even realize where they went. But again, in corporate, I would, speak to these women, I would read books, and I would see, some of them, they had to manage homes, they had to manage work, they had to manage kid. I had to do it. I was working also. My husband was supportive. But at the end of the day, as a woman, as a mother, it's on you to sort of get things done. If your child is sick, it's gonna come to mommy. Yeah. And that's what the place is. So many times I saw when most of my girlfriends, when they had kids, they would, leave work because they wanted to spend time with their kids. But at the end of the time, they would have this restlessness, I have to do something, I want to do something. Then that's the time I would just come in and coach them and say, you know what, maybe there's another way. Why do you have to do a job? Why don't you start looking at doing something yourself? Oh, but I don't have the confidence. So what? Most of us just get up and they do start doing things, and you learn in the process, you learn in the journey. And that's how my transformation to coaching actually began. And now when I coach these women whom I'm seeing they're working and working so hard, they've studied so hard, they first one to get up, last one to sleep, and they're doing it day in and day out. But at the end of the day, if they don't have that fulfillment, that joy is just wiped out of the face. So I figured, if I can speak to them and talk to them and tell them and take them on a journey and show them what actual inner freedom and peace looks like, it will just not change their life, but life of so many people around them. And that gives me fulfillment.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm from a country. We are both neighbors, and we have such popular, you know, conversations about these two countries. I'm from India, you're from Pakistan, and here, even a mother pulse crosses that, boundary, which always people think is a very tense boundary and probably will never be, sorted because of what the difference is and how beautifully a mother pulse. And there are two mothers talking here, sitting here from the countries where probably, people and I'm just saying people because I've never had these conversations. Probably you never had these conversations, but people never had these conversations that how will this ever settle? What's happening between our country for 70 years? And I'm so glad that we are sitting here, reaching out to each other, supporting each other, in spite of that, because that also doesn't come in the way. That judgment also doesn't come in the way. And when you're talking about these I mean, when I became a photographer, I was very young, and that was all pretty male dominated. But of course, Delhi was way ahead in many, many ways, and I could pave my way. But I can understand when you are in a male dominated, and when you have a daughter, when you're having a daughter, first thing is to protect them with the fact that they don't have to go through those judgments against you. They don't, and it's nothing to do with Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, anywhere. It is
Of
just
course.
that when you have a daughter, when you have a child, we are trying to do the best, and we don't, and if we are moms and we are women, we're trying to just, protect them from so that they don't go. And it's not only about daughters, like there are things that we go through, and my sons are there, and I'm always, as a mother, trying to protect him. Oh my god, he's too emotional, and I was very emotional, and he should not go through that because I was very emotional, and this dude is also emotional, and this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and this. So you always get, and Francis is in the space of parenting and family coaching. It happens to all of us, and that's why a lot of time that gives us courage to start taking the right steps, so that one, we're not raising them with fear, but we're also giving them space to grow up. And that's exactly probably my story, your story, many mother's story is. And we don't want.
Shiva, beautiful that you mentioned this. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really even matter, what's wrong, what's right, because all what we're doing is we're doing the best with what we know at the time.
Yeah.
We do that. And when you mention about, us being neighbors, when I came to Australia, Shikha, and there were so many Indians that, I spoke to and we became friends. And first of all, the language is the same. You might call it Hindi and Urdu, but, if we start speaking to each other, it's the same language, same food, almost the same spices, the
We
same.
are one country. I mean, we are the same. We were one
Exactly.
country just 70 years back. So of course we are the same. My mother is from my grandmother is from Lahore. She came from Lahore during partition. So my genes is from like Pakistan. My dad was almost born in Pakistan, right?
Beautiful.
So all of us, our grandparents are from, especially the ones in Delhi, because most came and settled in Delhi, but mostly from Pakistan, Karachi, Lahore, all these places during
It's so heartwarming to hear stories like that. We have a family friend, and they were saying that, their families immigrated from Quetta. There's a place in Pakistan, Balochistan, Quetta. They immigrated from there. In my mother's side, they immigrated from, I think they were speaking about a city which I keep forgetting the name somehow, but they said there was a train, and they came in that train from India to Pakistan. So this thing was happening, and at the end of the day, it's one.
Yeah, yeah. I know a 97-year-old soldier who served in the Indian Army, and he's my adopted grandfather. When I got married, I adopted him because I didn't have grandparents from both the sides. So you know what the pagdi happens in our during marriage. I gave him the pagdi of the turban of my grandfather to wear. He's 97 years old, and he's a poet, and he still writes in Urdu, though he's a Punjabi, but because he writes in Saraiki, he writes, and he is from Lahore, I think. No, he's from what's that place from P? Um, it's a place from P in Pakistan. No, no, no. In Pakistan, is a play. Pathan. No, I'm forgetting where he's from.
Rawalpindi, not because Lahore is near Rawalpindi.
I don't know where he's from, but I remember it starts with P. And he still writes in Urdu. And Bhagavad Gita, so my grandfather, and it's interesting that we are talking today, but my grandfather had really close friends who were Muslims in Pakistan. And I remember after years of partition, they had one Gita, Bhagavad Gita in Urdu, and they had passed it on to my grandfather, and my grandfather passed it on to my dad's brother, saying, "This is a rare, it'll not happen again." But at that time, even Bhagavad Gita, which like was all translated, like it was all in Urdu, and this 97-year-old soldier remembers reading Bhagavad Gita in Urdu, and he still writes in Urdu because he's from there, but he's a Punjabi, like he's of course a Hindu. So many great things have happened, and if we can bring that, like, go further and even mend it through these mother projects, that this is a pulse. Doesn't matter where you're from, how tense the environment is, what it is. If, like, what I'm liking about this conversation is that we are two women sitting right across talking about being brought up with so much, but the mother pulse joins us again, and we are still talking about
Definitely.
uh, how it is, and you're opening us up to that country. This conversation is opening many people to the countries that we belong to. That yes, there are accountants in Pakistan, and yes, Karachi move forward, and yes, there are women who go ahead, because we keep thinking odd things about each other's country without knowing anything. And when people
That's
read,
right. And exactly. And now with the internet, the world has become such a small place. Like, look at your project. You're bringing mothers not just from India and Pakistan, but from so many different parts of the world. And isn't this the beauty of it?
absolutely, absolutely,
Internet, like people might have these land borders and like, oh, we can't go here. You can't be granted that visa. You can't be doing that. But with this internet, there is no border. We are all one.
yes. And this mother pulse will transcend even more. I
Yeah.
am already saying it, that the pulse I'm talking about, the mother pulse, is going to transcend, uh, if I may say, and sound crazy or not crazy. I hope Melanie is not there, because she just keeps telling me, stop calling yourself crazy. But this mother pulse eventually will transcend to the fact that it runs in a bee, it runs in a deer, it runs in a tiger, it runs to a bird, it runs to the universe. We are going to take it there where it belongs. It's like, this is a very small thing to even solve India and Pakistan. Like, yes, the world is also a very small thing. We're still at a human level trying to acknowledge it, absorb it, to show focus on. But I promise I will take it, if I live for very long as I can, to get this focus at every level. And I keep saying that I will place these little books on that pulse, so that people can open and figure it out, that what is this pulse that I'm talking about. That is becoming clearer and clearer to me the more I'm moving forward, that it is just not a human mom's pulse. It is just not few moms' pulse. It is the pulse. It is the creator's pulse. It is the pulse that is the real pulse that all of us are forgetting to even look at.
We call our mother the earth, the mother earth.
Yes,
And
yes.
then we're talking about motherhood pulse. We're talking about connection. We're talking about love. We're talking about oneness.
Yes, and that's what I'm bringing more notice to. And the more I'm moving forward, I'm here for her. Stop calling yourself crazy. That's what Francis is saying. Thank you, Francis, for that love. But yes, I mean, that's where it's moving. That's where it's heading, and I'm glad that these 100 moms are coming together on this journey, trusting it, believing it. moving forward. Just to move a little forward, in this interview, you also are, what I realized was a very, you're an empath. You feel for people. Um, what happens, like, for me, I'm resolving it now even more with some work, that what happens to, when you feel that somebody is unable to express, you feel that somebody is locked up, you feel that, my God, like, at least give them an opportunity to speak up. And the countries, and there are many countries, not only in Asia, but there are many countries I'm finding across the world where speaking up, and then especially for a mother to speak up, is was an issue, and it brought them to many places, and many mothers have to take courageous steps to leave from there to even start living and feeling that they are living. So what about that? Like, you're into the space of transformation. What happens, like, when you see that, people you have reached out, you've told me stories, and you could feel it, you can see it in parties, you can feel that something is going on. How do you approach that? How do you feel that? What happens then?
Such a beautiful and a really, really deep question, Shikha. I strongly feel that I don't know a lot about men, but some men are good at it. But especially with women, I I feel that we all have this intuition, this inner knowing. Like many times, see, I told you that, right? This is gonna happen. Or especially when you're a child, for example, with me, it would happen so many times. I knew Jasmine is gonna fall down, and I would say, no, no, don't go there, and she will go and fall down. But you say, oh, because it's your motherly instinct. So those things are there. And when you say, women don't speak out, I think since childhood, or I don't, whatever trauma anybody has gone through, they just have learned to be quiet, to not create a rustle or not disrupt things. But if we really want women to come out, for example, like if I want the women that I'm seeing in front of me to come out, what do? I hold space for her. I tell her it's okay to share, and there is no judgment here. And once those tears start coming out, and once those things are washed out, you look at the personality and you see the strength. It is like magical. It is really, really so divine at that time that many times, my husband calls me very emotional, but sometimes people don't have to talk. The way they look at you, or the way the energy speaks. Like I was giving you about this story about where I was in this my Jasmine's school. It was a disco party, and it was for parents it was a disco party, and for the kids they had done a movie night. And then there was this auntie who was standing a few feet away from me, and there was very little lighting. The disco lights were going on, and my attention just kept going back again and again to her till they announced that, oh, in 15 minutes we're going to wrap up. So please, guys, just know we're going to wrap up. So I told my husband, I said, you know what? I just want to go say hello to that auntie. And I went and I said hello to her. And what came out of it, my journey actually started for transformational coach from there. I went to her, Shikha, and there were only 10 or 15 minutes remaining for this party to finish. And I go to her and I talk to her. And the way she opened up in front of me, and the way she started speaking, and she started crying, tears started coming in her eyes. And at that time, I thought, oh my God, words. If you connect to people, if you talk to them, actually they are looking for you because they need help. But sometimes they don't have the energy to come to you and speak to you till you go and you provide that space, that support, and then, they come from that place of love. So we are still friends. It's been around 4 years now. I have helped her. She has helped me, because we don't have to think that if you're helping somebody, you're being somebody great. No, that other person is helping you immensely too. We both grow. And then that's how you transform. That's how you heal. And this is what I love about, if we talk about Annie, so, this is how you hold space. And then when I was doing accounts, I was looking at my numbers. I was missing this human touch. I was missing that, of inspiring people. And when I was just, in the coffee meetings or in the lunch meetings, I was speaking to my friends and we would talk about things, and they were like, oh, you're right. That's so good. I'm going to go and do that. I would light up, because if you're doing things for someone, and as human beings, I think we all love to give. We all love to help out each other. And everyone has this special gift of theirs, and they know exactly how to take that journey forward. if they allow themselves, if they're confident enough to do it. And I think for us, if we just hold each other's space and if we empower each other out, it's not about competition, it's not a race, it's a journey that we all are taking together. And the more we feel for each other, the more we heal each other, the more we love each other, the more we understand each other and support each other, and the world transforms. Mine did that way.
Oh yes, and it's a tough thing to do. It's a very tough thing to do. You have to cross a lot of layers before you even reach out to people. You have to trust your judgment. You have to trust. You have to give a part of yourself when you're reaching out. You're connecting people. You're doing, and you know, even in that, I feel sometimes ego comes in. Oh, I'm the one who's going to save her, or I'm the one who's doing it. But there's a lot of like with this project as well, as I'm moving forward, the I has to keep dissolving. It's not my project, it is a project which has its own, I love the word pulse, so it has its own energy, it has its own pulse, it's moving in a direction, it's growing. I'm just a creator of it, just like your children. I just created it, but they're not yours. They do not belong to you. This project doesn't belong to me. It is just being created by me, just being pushed by me, just being nurtured by me, just being put the right elements at right place. And that happens with coaching. I think that happens with everything, because after a point we have to stop thinking that we are doing it. As you said, we're just holding a space, we're only creating a thing, but it is not us, it is not me who's changing anything. We are just sharing, we're just holding hands, we're just moving forward to create a better space. And
Shikha, we are just vessels, how I look at it also is we're just vessels through which the divine, the higher self, God is working through us to get to the message of us, helping out others. That's all. And a
and
vessel is that it is, receive and you give.
yeah, yeah, we have to behave like that, because it's good for us as well. Because when you stop the I, your
Ego.
expectations
Yeah.
drops. That what if somebody hurts us, what if something happens, your expectation drops tremendously. You just move with a lot of love and trust and say, I'm here to share, I'm here to hold hands, I'm here to speak up, I'm here to listen. And that exchange itself becomes beautiful, and that's why this project is becoming beautiful, because I am now creating a space where I'm okay to for these 100 moms to start showcasing their work, to start mingling, to start having interviews across, to start sharing their stories, to get more people introduced to the ones they relate to. And this exchange will be that binding factor that I'm again and again telling these mothers. Right now, we are all like, we've come from different spaces and we're just landing in one place. We are just so different and different experiences. But to become one, we need to all drop the eyes, and we need to figure out that we were coming to a common place. So at least in this space, there is no I. We will have to adopt the we, and the we gets adopted. This book goes further, and the minute, like with one mom, there's 99 more moms to support her. Can you imagine the power of that? With
Of
one
course.
Annie and 99 moms supporting, saying, Annie, your transformational coaching, I understand it. Wherever you need it, there are coaches here, there are parental experts. Melanie's here. Coach, she didn't hear. I just spoke 2 minutes back. I don't know if she'll hear it, but I'm crazy. She will scold me again. But but when that mingling happens and we become one solid energy moving forward with this 100, um, like, so there's not support of one, there's support of 99. That itself will be a big work to do. 99 different, or 100, like 99 different people trying to understand us will take some time. It will. And I will make sure that I keep creating the space for these 100 mothers to start knowing each other, finding each other, bringing. So when 99 people share who Annie is, 99 people share who Shikha is, 99 shares who Francis is, who Melanie is, their purpose, their driven, and also help each other transform, come dissolve their ego, become, have this big sister, hood here. I think some good work will be done in 3-4 years down the line, just with this 100, because each of these women have a vision, coincidentally, to transform the world, and
Of
they will
course.
not be many, they'll be a team of hundreds together. So that's becoming the vision. That's becoming the vision. So I highly encourage for all the mothers to know that We need to know who we are. It's just not the interview, and now it's just not that one story, it's just not that one page. We are all coming together to a space, and to be able to make this space uh, worth it for all the time that's going to be spent in this last 100 days. We will have to step up and start knowing each other, supporting each other, helping each other, finding each other. And I think we will be doing some great work together. And it's not going to be this.
There's this beautiful poem by Rumi where he says that, you have wings, so do not crawl. Learn to use them and fly.
Yes.
And I think that's the message that we're just trying to give through this platform.
Yeah. Yes. And for me, it's just turning out very beautiful, and I'm waiting to finish 100 mothers so that I can start the work of the next phase of bringing the book out, designing this, that, and marketing it and taking it ahead. But meanwhile, that happens, and I'm working in the backstage, and these lives start. I'll definitely would have created a space when the mothers will start taking over the platform and showing up on behalf of the book in different ways, and um, talking about their sisters, whether we are
Beautiful,
from whatever.
beautiful.
So it's developing there, Annie, and I'm very happy that you're doing. And I've had a beautiful conversation with you. I really know your heart, and I absolutely honor that you have taken these steps. One for your daughter, so I definitely honor that your vision. That yes, we need to keep moving forward, and we have to keep leaving a lot of things that we think are not working, even if we worked very hard to be there. We have to sometimes leave it and to keep moving forward. And more than that, then now that you're reaching out, I've heard some stories that you're reaching out to these women, and you're being godmothers to some, you're being sisters to some, you're being like, I mean, it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And we have to move forward to say, what is Annie's dream? What's her dream to be? And what's her dream? Because this book is 100 Self Portrait, 100 Dreams.
Annie's dream, very good. Annie's dream is to make people feel, or make especially mothers who are overworked and burnt out. You actually mentioned it at a very good time. I'm working on a workshop at the moment, Shikha, in which I want to gather the overwhelmed, the burnt out, the ones who said, oh my God, is this really life? And that's all that is to life, be it corporate, or be it, an entrepreneur, or be it a relation, whatever. From there to a place of, guys, there is a place where you can have fulfillment, where you can have joy, you can do what you love to do. Because at the end of the day, we all have a gift. We have to identify. It's our job to identify it. It's our right to identify it. Do that. And then the way your life transforms, the power that you get, and this journey of inner freedom and how it tastes like, I've experienced it. So now I don't think I can ever go back to that full-time place of working in a job where my heart is not there. Because ultimately, if you don't have your heart and your mind together, magic is not going to happen. So I want to get as many lives that I can touch and bring them to this place of fulfillment, so they can say when they look back and it's time for them to go, like how it's time for every one of us to go, they can say, oh, you know what? I lived my best life. I did what I came here to do. I raised a family. I had a wonderful influence, and I mattered. Because of the work that I did, I mattered. I made this world a better place. And this is my goal. This is what I want to do.
Beautiful. And I just laugh because you were saying, because Frances is very sweet. Frances is saying that, oh, she's gonna introduce her to a pillar, me. She's one of our pillars. We have pillars here who are supporting mothers. So Frances is damn cute. When she likes somebody a lot, she will raise her hand that I'm taking her, and she knows that other pillars are not there. Melanie is here as well. But Frances has taken you as in her group. She's already said. So Frances, she's yours. But my problem was, I was thinking the time zones are so apart. She's somewhere in the US, or I think in Canada. She's in US, I think. Where are you,
When the
Frances?
matter, the time doesn't matter, Shikha.
So you will have to. I've not had any pillar from your area, because now what's happening is that I'm giving the Indian ones, Indian Standard Time, Indian moms to the ones who are here, because it's easy to coordinate the time zone. Otherwise, somebody's like getting up in the morning and somebody's sleeping in the night and early that. Yes, time doesn't matter. So Francis has claimed you. I never sleep. So she doesn't sleep. So Frances doesn't sleep. So she is okay with all the time. All right. And imagine,
Night out.
she's such a superstar. If she doesn't sleep, she's such a superstar. I don't know when she starts sleeping, what will happen, Frances. I'm pretty sure that thing, if you're rested and you slept and you're doing things, I don't know what happens. So yes, I hand you over to Frances as your pillar already publicly. So Frances keeps claiming some beautiful women, and she's saying she's done once before as well. So Frances is
Thank you, Shikha. Thank you so much. Thank you, Francis. And just one more thing I just want to give, especially through this platform, Shikha, and that is the importance of education. Obviously for all children, but especially for girl children. I'm not talking about Australia. I'm not talking about UK. I'm not talking about US. I'm not talking about Canada. Because over here, people know they have to send their kids to school as soon as they turn 6 years old. If they don't, they can face consequences with the government, with the police. So it's that job. But in countries like ours, it's still a privilege. And that is where the disparity lies. So, if we really want our girls to shine, because I'm sure as parents, every parent want their kids to be shining, to be the best, and to have the best in the world. And the way they can do that, the way they can change lives is by education. So if I have come from that place to here, and hopefully, um, I will be in a position one day where I'm going to be helping out women, especially kids, girl children, get their education, because education transforms. It has, for me, it has for many, 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 and I think for all of us, and we all can say that.
Can I tell you that you're already helping with that vision by being part of this book? Because my
Great.
assistant, who is working, she just lost her father about 3 months back, and she has 7 siblings, out of which five are girls.
Uh,
She is 89. She's 19 years old, I think. She's 20, and her sister is 22, and I think the youngest is 3 years old with one special needs sibling. So at 45, her father passed away. So there's seven of them, and this book is going to be supporting the education of definitely the five girls, and nothing against boys, but I have said that this book will support when it $1 each, with 10,000 copies sold. So like there are three causes that I've announced. One of them is to support this family directly, because she's working behind the scenes right now. When she came to me, it's a big long story. Someday I will introduce her, but she is working behind the scenes. Thanks to her, with all the chaos that's happening, I'm on time on live. She's preparing my lives, and she's doing a lot of work, whatever she can. And she herself needs graduation, but right now she needs to earn. So I was like, fine, this project is there, come and work with me. She stays with me, she wakes me up in the morning. Oh my God, it's 7 o'clock, this thing, because I'm still breastfeeding my younger one, and I'm the sleepless night zone. So in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock, I'm sending her a message, remind me this time. She's working, and then we are going to support those five girls through this book money. So that's
Beautiful.
the plan. If you like have stepped into this book, the book is complete. When it moves forward, it's already going to support five girls transparently. I will show you who these people are. We're going to directly put the money, 1 year payments to begin with, 1 year for each girl, definitely paid off for their schools. Some of them have to graduate. This girl herself needs graduation. So all this money from this book, I promised her, will go to support her five sisters. So the girl child is going to be supported.
Oh, beautiful.
I know the importance of it, because I'm from the same part of the world, and I know how much it becomes better when girl child is allowed to move forward to study, and she's not held back because she's a girl child. And first, let the boys go and study. So I absolutely understand that issue. So your dream is going to come true already with that, when this book moves forward, the beginning.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right. Thanks, Annie, for being here. Melanie, how can the education of girls be a privilege in today's times? Shocking. Oh yes, Melanie, it is. It is. We're a very, very populated. We are very traditional society. We are heavily populated, and of course, no judgments here, and not criticizing our country. We have many, many challenges, and in small villages, it is male dominated. It's still male dominated. From where she comes, Pakistan is also male dominated. We are, as countries, still there are remote places where one, education is not there, but if education is at all there, it goes, families still educate their boys first, because girls are meant to get married, girls are meant to be home, they are the homemakers, they cannot become. And that,
Exactly.
yeah, that all is still the vision of many families who not education has not reached. And they also have this notion that what if these girls become very powerful, they're not going to ever have children, they're not going to raise family. It's all myths and notion, where many people are working with
Yeah.
a lot of NGOs. I'm sure in your country, in our
Of
country,
course, many, many.
and population is big. So yes, we are still moving forward, but very proudly, I must say, we also from the country, the same women from that country. I still roam around free. I've still been educated. I'm a photographer. I became India's first baby and child photographer. I was given even 20 years back a lot of opportunities to do, and he was given opportunities to be the youngest accountant. So even
And
that happened. So that's also the reality. So not to view these countries as something, but many.
And just to add to that also, Shikha, the best doctors that are actually in the US, in the UK, in Australia, anywhere in the world are from India and Pakistan. Even when I'm going here to hospitals, the best gynecologists, the best neurosurgeons, the best are either Pakistanis or Sri Lankans or Indians. So it's such a, it's such a diverse place that we've got all the people who are going there, making it there, and they're making to the top of the industries. At the same time, we've got people who would think that girls are a liability,
Yeah.
and they have to be wedded off as soon as they're just big enough. So that's the mind perception that needs to change, and that's the disparity that we're talking about.
Also changing. We both are living examples of that. I think we are living
Exactly.
examples of the fact that it is changing, and a lot of work needed to be done, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of this thing, a lot of work needs to be done. But
Yeah,
to be actually also telling you, you and me are living examples that it's happening, it's the truth. So we should represent that part of the country which is moving forward towards a
exactly.
positive thing, and we should hold hands where we can, and contribute as we move forward.
Exactly, because that's how it is. Like Francis had asked you that question, right? Or Melanie. We've come from that place. We understand, we know what education has done. If we can give that gift to people who need it, especially, and let them be with us and bring them on and push them on or whatever it's needed, and we take this world to a new place.
So that's why to stand tall, to also be proud of our countries that they have achieved so much that 20 years back also I could be become a photographer and break my way through opening up photography for so many women photographers in this country
Yeah,
at age of 18 saying, yeah, I'm going to be a photographer. So like, I mean, many great Indian like women, I myself am coming to know, heading special education, doing education and all that. I've just done Mrs. Masla, absolutely amazing what she's doing with special children, what she's doing with education. There are people who are working with weavers. So the change is coming. It is tough because culturally, linguistically, historically, our countries are have seen a lot, and it's taken us some time to come out, but we are all shining for sure.
the world is moving to a conscious place now, Shikha.
Yeah,
I think we're all feeling
slowly
that,
we are becoming.
especially with especially with COVID, we've seen that consciousness come out, and we've seen just how connected we are.
So yes, Melanie, well, lots of conversations to happen. You need to work because you're getting connected to this part of the world as a parent-child thing. You should bring Mrs. Mustard for sure onto your interview. Bring women who are doing great things so that we start seeing these women shine from Pakistan or from India, to say that these women are also working. So that's how Melanie can help. That's how Francis can help to bring the stories out of women who are actually working very hard to bring education to
Yeah.
girl child, or education overall, or education to special needs children. That's what this space is going to become. There will be 99 supporters of that one woman who thinks that she's doing it all by herself, and we're going to create that. So thank you, Annie, and thank you so much. Thanks for touching the girl education side, because whenever I talk about what I'm supporting, it's sometimes I think culturally people don't understand when I'm saying a father has left with 7 children, out of which 5 are girl children. It is going to be a very difficult thing for that mother who herself is not educated to take these girls ahead, and most likely they will end up being married or some. whatever can happen. So even if you can support that family with 7 and raise 2 boys, to say that you support these girl child who are ahead of you as sisters, a lot of good work will be done from that as well, and they will inspire many, many people. Once these
Beautiful.
girls are given that power to move forward. So
Such a
thank
wonderful feeling to have.
Yes, it is. It is. We can understand it, and I'm sure we'll make people understand that as well. So thank you so much. I'm going to go offline. Thank God there was no internet connection. It was a beautiful interview. Francis, is your the time zone is here and here. Like you figure it out how to connect.
Thank you very much, Shika. Thank you very much.
Yes, and
God
thank
bless
you.
and all the best for your project.
Thank you. It's not
Our,
mine. It's not mine. All the best for our project, because now you're one of the mothers. It's no more mine. That's what I'm trying to tell. We are all coming to a vessel, becoming one. It's not mine. It's ours, and we are moving forward as ours. I will just take out the book and do the work I'm meant to do and go ahead and keep paving the way. But everybody has to understand it's not me, it's our project. This mother is going ahead. This vessel is getting to become one with all kind of variations, to do good work, to do make an impact. So yes,
beautiful.
we're together. So you're one of us right here. This is
Beautiful.
your project as much as it's mine, as much as it's Francis, as well as it's Melanie's. And the way these pillars of mine are taking charge, they've already taken the charge as our project. They're all supporting me. The editing team is supporting me as our project and taking it ahead. So it's going to be a beautiful thing coming together. Many, many,
Beautiful.
many.
Beautiful.
So welcome, Annie, into this space, and see you soon. Thank you, Francis. Totally love you. Thank you, Melanie. I totally love you as well. You know that. And my other pillars, Devi and Kirtana, Kavita, my editing team, Sumitra, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for your support. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that. Let's go off live, and I know it's almost 11:30 for you, but it's a beautiful interview. Thanks for coming on and reaching
Thank
out.
you. Thank you very much, Shika. Thank you. Take care. God
I'm
bless.
don't switch off.